Today on Monkey Life, Alison travels north to collect a female marmoset whose owner has died, leaving her in the care of a neighbour.
Wow, look at that breakfast tray. That's enough to feed an army of marmosets.
It's the variety.
A new puzzle for the squirrel monkeys to try out.
With something like this, they'll come across it very quickly and pretty sure they'll figure it out pretty fast as well.
And Zingu's baby ventures outside for the first time. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
I can't keep her in, get her in. Okay, got it.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 25 different species. It's all systems go at the marmoset complex. Primate care team member Steph is preparing a bedroom for the imminent arrival of a young female common marmoset, another victim of the UK pet trade.
I want to throw up some extra perching because they tend to not be the most mobile. Any of the pet trade animals that come into us tend to be like that, but particularly if we know there's a history of rickets within that family group. So yeah, throwing up thicker branching, extra branching, so it's much easier for her to navigate the enclosure. I've got some nice, clean, soft marmoset blankets, which is these guys' favourite thing to cuddle up in at night, so we'll put some of those in her beds. And just make sure everything in there is very sturdy and very sort of tied down. Hey, Reggie. Good boy, Reg.
The aim is for the new female to be partnered with Reggie, who lost his mate Jerry a few months ago.
Getting a new girlfriend. It's exciting.
She's called Jangles and is just 2 years old.
So yeah, we don't know that much about her other than her name, her age, and a little bit about her family's background. But we've seen a couple of pictures of her and she looks sort of bright enough in the face. Slightly bed hair, ear tufts, but quite a few of ours get that. So we're hopeful that we've got her young enough we can make a real difference in her life and give her the companionship she needs.
Steph and Reggie may be enjoying a sunny spring morning in Dorset, but 280 miles north, near Halifax in Yorkshire, Alison has had to battle through snowy conditions on her mission to collect Jangles.
It is simply spectacular here. We've come today to West Yorks. Quite a change from Dorset. It was sunny, but really beautiful, but not an environment for a marmoset, really. So we'll pick her up, take her down south and get her paired up, and hopefully everything will go smoothly and the family can rest assured that Jangles will be looked after.
Jangles had been living in a family group of 5 marmosets. Sadly, her parents and siblings have passed away, leaving Jangles alone. When her owner also passed on, Kevin, a friend and neighbour, stepped in to look after her, and then contacted Alison.
I mean, I'm gutted that the Jangles will be leaving, but I'm really looking forward to see how she develops with another family of marmosets. It's what she deserves, it's what she's got to have. If you want a pet, get a dog, get a cat. Primates should be with primates.
Good morning.
Morning.
Kevin.
How are you?
Good to meet you.
And you?
Jangles has an indoor and outdoor living space with some perching to move around on. The bedroom in the shed is heated, but unlikely to be sufficient in the current conditions.
Oh, is it chillies in here?
Alison is keen to get as much information about the young marmoset as she can.
Is there any light inside of that shed?
With the exception of the ventilation shafts.
Yeah.
It's not total blackout, but it's probably 90%, 95% blackout.
Insufficient sunlight can lead to a condition called rickets, caused by a lack of vitamin D3. It's a disorder regularly found in pet trade marmosets.
Wow, look at that breakfast tray.
There you go.
Was that put out this morning or last night?
No, that's put out most days.
That's enough to feed an army of marmosets.
It's the variety.
I know.
Jangles' breakfast is a smorgasbord of items more commonly found in an upmarket hotel.
Right, so here we have some tinned peaches. I did try on normal peaches, but for some reason she didn't go for it. Selection of nuts, dry scrambled eggs, so there's no oil or anything in there. Banana, chopped up mango.
Okay.
This is a baby infant banana yogurt.
Okay.
And this one is a fruit medley yogurt.
That's fantastic. Thank you for explaining that. Yeah, no, it'll give our keepers a better idea of what she's used to.
As soon as she arrives at Monkey World, Jangles will be given a more appropriate diet, including insects and marmoset gum.
She's carrying a little bit of weight that I can see. Hard to tell what her mobility's like right now because it's a small area, but she's not shy. She came up and take a waxworm off of me, so she's confident, which, you know, they've just done a really lovely job looking after her, so.
It's time to try and persuade Jangles into the travel box Alison's brought with her. Kevin feels the relationship and trust he's developed with the small monkey will make the task fairly straightforward.
Come on, let's go, girl. They're a good girl. Hey, come on. There.
Excellent. Kevin's magic. Kevin and Jangles are the hot combo.
Okay.
The lure of waxworms does the trick. Within seconds, Jangles is safe and secure inside the crate. It's a 5-hour journey back to Dorset, and Alison is keen to get going. Time to say goodbye.
Tomorrow morning, all things being good, her mobility's good and everything, we'll introduce her to Reggie straight away.
Reggie's the
and
man.
She's fully mature, so no, it's time and a good thing. So really pleased we can offer her a good home for the rest of her life. So nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you. No, pleasure. Pleasure.
Jangles was born at the home in Yorkshire. It's all she's ever known, so her new life will be a major upheaval. Kevin has enjoyed looking after her and is sorry to see her go, but knows he's made the right decision.
See ya.
Next stop, Dorset. A new start and a new male companion to share her life. The primate care teams at the park like to keep their charges active in body and brain. To achieve this, they come up with unique ideas and designs, particularly at feeding time. Today, they're trying out an idea on the park's energetic squirrel monkeys. Primate care team member Ali is experimenting with a number of clear plastic tubes, which is attached to wooden boards and logs. He's stuffed them with some of the squirrel monkey's favourite grubs, waxworms, hidden in clumps of straw.
They've got very active minds. They're always trying stuff out, exploring their enclosure, hunting the insects that we have in here. So something like this, they'll come across it very quickly and pretty sure they'll figure it out pretty fast as well. But as long as we can keep them stimulated, keep their minds active, then that's a good thing. And I think hanging them will give them a chance to use their strength, use their core muscles as well, give them a bit of exercise too.
The group dynamic amongst the squirrel monkeys has changed recently. Sadly, they said goodbye to the feisty little old lady, Turvey. She'd been at the park for 14 years and brought a lot of fun and encouragement to the group. But in recent times, she suffered mobility problems, which the primate care team had to cater for.
It is a change. We can start putting things higher up. We don't have to focus on the areas that are easy to get to as a place where we put the enrichment. We can stick it higher up, make it harder, have some more balancing stuff. Because what will quite often happen is the faster animals who could go up high would just go for the easy stuff and they'd get there first and then they wouldn't bother with the stuff up high. Whereas now we can put it all in difficult places and make it more interesting.
This group are on the go all the time, and today is no exception. They focus all their efforts on the feeder boards as soon as they spot them. The discovery of waxworms only adds to their excitement. There are now only 4 in the group, 3 common squirrel monkeys and 1 black-capped, Nueve. She's extremely confident and likes to think she's the boss of the group. Logan is the largest of the four, but doesn't flaunt it. He's a quiet, shy monkey who doesn't object to not being in charge. Lopez has taken on the role of top male. He's a gung-ho character. Everything he does is 100 miles an hour. But he is starting to take life a bit more seriously. The other female is Lucille. She arrived along with Logan and Lopez, all rescued from squalid conditions at a Somerset home. Back then, she was extremely quiet and nervous, but now she's grown in confidence.
We've seen a bit of a change in Lucille. She seems a bit more gregarious. She's out there working with the other animals to forage and stuff like that. I would say she's probably a bit more focused on Lopez, which is a good thing. She's adapted quite well to losing Turby. Time will tell what she ends up doing next, really.
Today's puzzles are encouraging the squirrel monkeys to use all their muscles, particularly their core. The tubes have been placed at arm's length, so they have to make a real effort to reach the wriggly waxworms at the bottom. The boards and logs are mobile too, making the whole task a little more challenging. There's plenty to go around, and when they've exhausted their possibilities, it's back to one of their favourite activities, hunting for insects in their wonderful natural enclosure. At Lavar's woolly monkey enclosure, the primate care team are preparing to let the group outside. The troop pile out together, but today, for one of them, it's a new adventure. A few days ago, experienced mum Zingu gave birth to her 5th infant. This morning, the youngster's taking its first look at the outside world.
So going outside for the first time, can be a little bit stressful for us because they're going, okay, we've got a new little baby, hopefully mum will look after the little baby. But because it's Zingu, we aren't as worried as if it was a first time mum. Zingu is so good, she's just like, yep, I'm outside. We know she's looking after her baby really well.
Zingu is totally at home with the tiny infant clinging on tightly to her side, its tail wrapped around hers as she negotiates her way along the ropes and into the trees. The rest of the troop has shown a keen interest in the newborn. Zingu doesn't object, but remains protective.
She's very good. She keeps a very close eye on the others in the group and what's going on. If others come near her, she's more than happy for them to sit with her or to groom or to have a look at the baby. But she does sometimes tell the others off when she's had enough or if she feels like they're being a little bit rough, which is a great thing. It's a great trait that we want the mums to do. So, protecting her offspring, even if it is telling off her older children, which does happen, especially Leroy, who's her baby from the last couple of years ago. He sometimes wants to play and wants to wrestle with mum, but he has to kind of learn that he's not the baby anymore and he has got a new little offspring that we need to be keeping an eye on and looking after.
With Zingu dealing skillfully with her new baby,
Come on then!
Another female in the group is being monitored closely by the team, Zingu's daughter, Olivia.
Come on, Olivia. Good girl.
She's also having a baby, and due any day. Lydia is keeping a close watch for any signs that the birth is imminent.
Good girl. So we're just doing little checkups on her, making sure we aren't seeing anything, negative happening, so any swelling that might be accumulating or any signs of things like preeclampsia, and just making sure she's coping really well with her pregnancy. But we aren't worried at this stage. We're just making sure that we're keeping a close eye on her and then seeing any possible changes that might be happening or any signs that she might be progressing towards labour.
The group, led by leader Lavar, has always been a tight-knit family.
LeVar, you know, will go off and play with Leroy, you know, do his displays, make sure everyone knows that he's still in charge, especially at his ripe old age, being 32 this year. So it is very much a continuation, but he is, you know, giving Zingy the space that she needs, and also, you know, being there and taking interest in the latest offspring of the group as well.
For the moment, the new baby is still nameless.
We haven't confirmed a name yet, but we're 99% sure that we have another little boy, which is very exciting. So we'll be thinking of names shortly, and hopefully within the next couple of weeks we'll have a name for him. So let's watch this space.
It's a beautiful day at the park, and at the orangutan nursery, primate care staff member James is preparing to let the group of 5 into their outdoor enclosure, where a treat is waiting for them.
We tried to give these guys a lot of browse. Obviously it's a bit harder during the winter time, so we try and supplement it with various other things, but this time of year we've got access to loads of willow, birch, hazel, and they really like it. It's very important for their diet. They do eat a lot of leaf in the wild in their diet, obviously mixed up with the fruit and the bark and some small amounts of insects, and they really enjoy stripping the bark off of that, eating the leaves as well, and getting all of it out, and it keeps them busy as well and focused throughout the day, stops them from getting bored. So it's really good for the orangutans in general as well as dietary. Come on in, guys!
The browse still has small cherries attached, and James has also put out some nice juicy blueberries to encourage the group to be active. Not that they need much persuasion. Apart from O'Sheen, of course. Her preference is always the most food for the least effort. Bulu Mata finds a stash of blueberries hidden off the ground in a hosing puzzle feeder. He has to manipulate it to reach the tiny morsels. But it's tricky. He's growing up, and his hands are larger than they were. His close friend and playmate Rika secures a large branch laden with fruit. She wants to keep it to herself, so finds a quiet spot to eat away from the others. It has an additional benefit as a sunshade. The youngest in the group, 7-year-old Mimi, cleverly sits below and benefits as some of the fruit falls to the ground. The youngsters in the nursery are all growing up, particularly the 2 boys. Since arriving at the park in 2014, Bulu Mata has had the perfect role model to look up to, Sylvester. Both had a difficult start in life. Bulu's mum died soon after giving birth. Monkey World is the European creche for orphaned and abandoned baby orangutans, so, just 3 months later, he was sent to the park where he thrived.
Is this an aerial attack? Yes, it is. I thought it was.
Sylvester arrived 4 years earlier. He was rejected by his mum at birth and had to be hand-reared by the primate care team. Later, O'Sheen took over and became his surrogate mum. He's now 12 and outgrowing the nursery. But the global pandemic has prevented a move to a new home for now.
There becomes a point where males just don't mix together, and they really start to let you know that they're not happy in other males' presence. So generally with adult groups, we always usually keep just one adult male. Over at Twan's at the moment, we've got little Hujan in there, but he's at a young age, so he's not a threat to Twan, so he doesn't look at him in that sort of respect. So Sylvester does need to move on. He needs to start to socialise with adults. He needs girls of his own age.
It means major changes in the future. But currently, the group are fairly settled and still love a bit of fun. Apart from O'Sheen, some things never change. After food comes sleep, as she leaves the youngsters to it. Alison has just arrived at the park following a 5-hour journey from Yorkshire, where she collected a young female marmoset called Jangles. Up north, there was snow on the ground. Back in Dorset, the weather couldn't be more different.
All right, how's everybody?
Yeah, good.
How's Reggie?
Ready for some company, I think.
I think she is too.
Good.
This is Jangles. Oops.
Oh, hello. You're not as little as I thought you'd be.
No, she's full grown, and she's a
No, I mean,
bit
yeah.
tubby. It was really cold today, like snow.
Yeah. Did she have any heating?
She did, but the shed was sort of a prefabricated plastic thing, so gaps and holes.
The primate houses at the park are maintained at around 22 degrees Celsius, so Jangles will be nice and cosy once she's in her new bedroom. Steph weighs the travel crate with Jangles inside.
Right, 3.06.
Once the marmoset is released, the team weigh the empty box to get a true reading. Steph puts one of Jangles' own comfort blankets into her new bedroom. The familiar smell and feel should make her feel more at home. Male Reggie is keen to get a glimpse of his potential new housemate. The two won't meet face to face tonight, although they will be able to see and hear each other through the mesh separating the bedrooms.
Right, you ready, Jangles? There we go.
Jangles is very vocal as she energetically explores her new surroundings.
Okay, mobility not so bad.
She moves well considering the small space she previously called home.
She's a lively one, but she seems to have settled down a bit now. She's discovered a really soft, fleecy blanket that we've got in the nest box, so she's just tucked herself up under that for now. But she looks all right. She's definitely got that kink in the spine that we see in pretty much all of our pet trade guys, from rickets. But with sort of hefty courses of D3 and the right care, we can prevent that from getting any worse, and hopefully she's young enough that we can do that with her. She is quite tubby. She's quite a big girl. Her weight's not terrible. She's 380 grams. Most of ours are in the sort of 350 to sort of 400. Couple that are a bit over 400. Those are our slightly larger ladies, particularly Rubes, who's in that category. So we'll try and get her eating her vegetables, eating the healthier foods over the next couple of weeks. And then we'll get her outside, try and get her to build up some muscle tone, and that should really make a difference in her physical condition.
Jangles will receive her first dose of vitamin D3 tonight. The team hopes she'll settle in well over the next few days and get used to the sight, smell and sound of the other marmosets around her. Then she can meet Reggie, potentially her new life companion. Next time on Monkey Life. A visit from the vet for newcomer Capuchin Matty, who's come off worse in a battle for the top spot with leader Erico.
That, I think, is a bit of bone. That looks infected and pretty necrotic to me.
And cool as a cucumber, the orangutans enjoy frozen treats as the temperature soars. Today on Monkey Life, a visit from the vet for newcomer Capuchin Matty, who's come off worse in a battle for the top spot with leader Erico.
That, I think, is a bit of bone. That looks infected and pretty necrotic to me.
The birth of a new baby woolly monkey is captured on camera.
She went into labour and all happened quite quickly, and we have confirmed that is a little girl.
And cool as a cucumber, the orangutans enjoy frozen treats as the temperature soars. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Hopefully she'll walk in as well as he did, so this would be fantastic. Fingers crossed.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 25 different species. Since its inception 35 years ago, Monkey World has rescued more than 430 primates from across the globe, with differing needs and a variety of backgrounds. The secret to the park's success has been providing them with individual care, a safe space, and, most importantly, a family. But it takes knowledge, skill and time to settle individual animals into fully integrated groups.
Hand. Good boy.
Capuchins Matty and Louis are a case in point. They arrived a few months ago from a zoo in Wales and are now part of Erico's group of 11. But their integration is still a work in progress, and it's currently more about male Matty than female Louis. During the day, the whole group, including the newcomers, are together, but at night, they have to be separated. That's because the care team suspect Matty has been challenging dominant male Erico for the top spot, and he's definitely come off worse in the battle.
Hello, how are you guys doing?
Okay.
Which is why wildlife vet Nick Masters has been called in to check him over.
He has several injuries, really, which he sustained during the introductions that we've done into Erico's group. Most of them are healing okay, but one injury in particular is on one of his fingers, and he's got a bit of bone sticking out, which isn't ideal. He's going to get it caught. It's a tractor infection, so we really just need to snip that bone off so the finger can then heal really nicely.
Matty has been giving almost as good as he gets. Erico also has a number of cuts and bruises.
I've got a picture if you want to see.
From today?
I mean, yeah.
Great, that'd be great, yeah.
It's,
Goodness, yeah. I mean, I don't think trying to do a primary closure on that, you know, cleaning all the edges up and suturing them together is a sensible option.
He'll just anyway that are found and joined in the middle, so there's so much granulation tissue that have to debride.
So it's just got to heal by secondary intention. So
we can go and have a proper look at him once we finish with Matty. Just to make triply sure. But...
Nick will have a closer look at Erico's injuries later.
Oh, Matty.
But first he needs to deal with Matty's fingers and toes.
So that is displaced completely, and that, I think, is a bit of bone. That looks infected and pretty necrotic to me. I think that's got to come off. That's digit 3 on his hind right. And that, as you predicted, is bone. So that one's got to come off. So that's digit 4, as you said, front right.
Not 1, but 2 digits need to be amputated.
He's got a lot of superficial injuries, and he's got a couple of nastier ones. They really do go at each other, so I'm going to do some partial amputations in 2 digits, so take the ends off them where he's got broken bone or dislocation. It's the only way that they're going to heal up really nicely, I think.
And it's not just Matty's hands and feet that have been damaged.
Oh, he has lost his canine.
He's broken it, hasn't he?
It's completely gone, look.
Upper right canine is fractured.
Once the area has been cleaned and disinfected, Nick begins the operation.
OK, going to start cutting.
It's a fiddly but fairly straightforward procedure. Nick has to remove all the infected bone and surrounding tissue. Unfortunately, the finger is worse than first thought.
So to get back to healthy tissue, I'm going to have to take out this other bit of bone, I'm afraid. Let's go right back to the knuckle. Let's take the whole thing out, I think.
After removing the entire finger, Nick stitches the wound, making it as secure as possible to avoid reinfection and interference from the patient or his capuchin housemates.
Turns a lot on the character of the animal as well, I think, is my experience. It's always a little bit of a lottery. Hopefully, I'll do this well enough that it stays together.
The loss of a finger shouldn't be too much of an impediment for Matty.
It doesn't seem to hinder them at all. They just carry on. They've still got the rest of their fingers to use to forage and feed and everything with. And yeah, so he shouldn't really notice a difference at all.
The digit on Matty's right foot isn't as bad. Nick only has to remove the end section.
So it's not exactly cosmetic surgery, but it will hopefully be fully functional. So, happy with both back feet.
Fingers and toes sorted, there's still one final job to do. Remove Matty's broken canine. It's a grueling task, but it needs to be done to avoid future infection. 30 minutes of prodding and pulling later,
One tooth removed. I think that looks okay. Much better. Came together much better than I was expecting.
Good, okay. Wakey up time, yeah?
Matty has been under anaesthetic for 90 minutes.
Sometimes it just goes that way, but at least he's sorted now. We've had a good look at all of his various injuries. He's had a good clean. But yeah, he seems a pretty tough guy, so I think it'll probably take him quite a while to come round. He's been under anaesthetic for a long time, so we'll keep an eye on him, but hopefully, you know, come tomorrow, he'll be back to his normal self and we can consider putting some friends back in with him again.
While Matty recovers from his surgery, Nick takes the opportunity to have a close look at Eriko's wounds.
I still don't think it's a surgery.
Okay, fine.
Absolutely convinced it's not.
Nick is satisfied the injuries will heal quickly. The two competing males will need to be kept apart for the next few days. But it'll give them a chance to lick their wounds. It's been an anxious few weeks for the Woolly Monkey team, who've been awaiting the arrival of Olivia's first baby. It was impossible to know the exact due date, so everyone was on tenterhooks until yesterday, when the infant finally arrived.
So Olivia has had a little baby girl. She went into labour and all happened quite quickly. And within about 25 minutes of noticing that she had gone into labour, we did have a little baby arrive, and we have confirmed that is a little girl.
The birth was captured by Lydia on her mobile phone.
So it was very exciting, seeing her going through the contractions and pushing and the actual head coming out. She did nip around the side for the final birth in the playroom area, so we didn't actually see the full birth. But it was very interesting to see and how the group were reacting. They were kind of giving her space, but also very interested as to what was going on. So it was nice that everyone was very respectful. And then not long after the baby was born, you know, Zingu came over and had a look, Lavar came over and had a look. So it was very interesting and very exciting and definitely worth staying late for.
It's been 24 hours since she gave birth, but first-time mum Olivia is doing well. She is looking a little exhausted by the experience, but taking great care of her newborn daughter.
She's doing okay, you know, she's showing a lot of interest in the baby, you know, she's allowing the baby to feed, she's being sensible, so we are seeing her, you know, making decisions about moving around and making sure the baby is held on nicely. She isn't maybe as much as what Zingu does, who's generally always got an arm there, just double supporting that baby, making sure it's okay. But the baby is doing well, she's adapted to life quite well. Sometimes, you know, she kind of goes, oh, I'm going over here now, and it goes, oh, actually, I've got this baby I've got to think about. So sometimes she might have a little momentary lapse, but she's doing really well, especially for a first-time mum.
In an unusual set of circumstances, the primate care team now have 2 newborn babies in the same group to look out for. Just 8 days ago, Zingu gave birth to her 5th infant.
Zingu's just, you know, she's so good at it, and she's done so many babies now that she just carries on, really. So it's very exciting that we have got 2 babies less than 2 weeks apart. So watching them grow up together and, you know, finding, you know, all the things that they can do with their tails and climbing and playing is going to be really nice to watch.
For the next few days, Olivia will be kept indoors while she gets used to being a mum and carrying the baby around. She'll only have access to the tunnel and the caged enclosure until the team are sure she's confident enough to take her baby into the large tree-filled area. One thing's for certain, the new arrivals should be perfect playmates for each other in the future. It's been 2 weeks since the park welcomed its newest arrival, a female loris. She arrived from a private collection in Cornwall with no name and very little history. She was shy at first, but has now started to settle into her new home.
Had to kind of bribe her with her favourite foods for the first couple of days to get her sort of eating and get her settled. So that was locusts and grapes, because she really likes both of those. But over the last week or 2, we've seen her really kind of adapting to the diet that we give and kind of trying everything we've got to offer. So she's doing well. It's taking notice of the other loris in the house now. That's been the big thing for her. And of course, she didn't have a name when she arrived, so we've had to do that as well. As we've got 2 other females in the house that have names both starting with the letter N, we've got Nora and Nikki, we thought we'd kind of continue that theme, and we ended up with Nellie. So our new female's name is Nellie.
And it turns out Nellie's not as timid as the team first thought.
As she's come out of her shell, Nellie the elephant actually suits her a little bit better because she's sort of been stomping around her room, sort of shaking branches and marching round, kind of claiming the new kind of territory. And actually, as it turns out, she's a very opinionated lady. The sort of sweet and shy act at the start really was just because she was a bit nervous, and once she's kind of got over that, actually quite a few opinions, and she's a very vocal loris.
Lorises are nocturnal, and those at the park have been split into 2 groups, with Bobby, Boo and Bruce moving into a newly adapted house, which they're enjoying.
You're getting Bruce and Boo spending time sort of flirting a little bit, and we've had a bit of mating from those 2. Bobby is a little bit younger. She's not come into season yet, as far as we know. She's 3 years old, so she'll be getting towards that point. And she was a little bit taken aback at her very first male, because she'd never met one before. But as soon as she discovered that Bruce quite likes to groom, and Bobby loves to be groomed, that kind of worked out really well. And that's what they've been doing, so we're really happy with how that's gone.
Not a lot is known about this unusual species, and the team are keen to see if they can replicate the scenario with the lorises at the original house. So, today, they're going to introduce male Axel to new female Nellie. Axel can be a touch unpredictable, and they need to work out the best social situation for him and his housemates. For now, the pair will only have contact through the mesh.
Hopefully we'll build up some tolerance through the mesh and see some nice interactions before we open up completely.
In true slow loris style, it's a quiet and sedate start, with both primates content to eye each other up from a distance as Steph and Marina watch on. But then it gets noisy. And when Axel moves in for a closer look, Nellie starts giving off loud warning signals.
I think she's got a bit more attitude on her than Nikki, so it might be a better match for him.
Axel is unperturbed, determined to get close to the new female. Nellie isn't impressed. She's had enough and lunges out at Axel. Grabbing and biting at his fingers and toes. The attack causes a few minor injuries.
Yes, he's got blood under the nail. She's taken the nail tip.
That's okay.
Marina isn't too concerned.
It's actually going quite well. Axel's a really difficult individual. He's had a terrible traumatic life so far, and he's just desperate for anything and everyone, and he doesn't respect boundaries, he doesn't read the signs, he just goes for it. So Nellie coming in, very strong, clearly stating that I am not in the mood for your friendship now, is perfect, and she's been so fierce about it, he's actually respected it, and he's pottering about. So this for Axel is brilliant. He's respecting, probably for the first time in a long while, a female saying no, which is so important if he has any chance of being social in the future.
It's lesson learned for Axel, and he gives up altogether, giving Nellie the space she demands. It looks like this introduction may take some time. The bachelor woolly monkeys are in for a big treat today. The park has received a generous donation of natural honeycomb, full of sticky, gooey honey. It's something this troop has never had before.
I think they might be a little wary at first, but I'm sure once they smell the sweetness of the honey, they'll soon realise it's just a delicious treat. But yeah, they definitely wouldn't get this much sugar in their usual diet, so it is a very rare treat.
Hannah is skewering the honeycomb in hard-to-reach places, so the troop has to work to access it. Raw honeycomb is packed with vitamins and antioxidants and has numerous health benefits, including fighting infections and improving heart health. She's also smearing some honey on the branches to replicate tree sap in a bid to encourage natural foraging behaviours from the group.
Mummy!
Carlos is first out of the blocks, followed by Manny.
Come on, Manny!
The rest of the troop isn't far behind. But, as Hannah suspected, they're all a little wary of the unusual snack in their enclosure. Instead, they tuck into the more recognisable breakfast of cucumber and pak choi the primate care team have also distributed. At first, they ignore the delicious sweet honeycomb hanging from the branches. It's one of the youngest members of the troop, 5-year-old Claude, who investigates the sticky treat first. Like all woolies, he's initially cautious, carefully investigating what the substance could be. He tries it, but then leaves the honeycomb still attached to the branch. The smallest of the boys is Cassius. He uses his tail to help balance as he checks out the honey from arm's length. He's interested, but guarded. A quick taste of one, then he investigates another. Confirmation, it's sweet and tasty. The leader of the group, and also its oldest member, 14-year-old Paolo, is the first to tackle a whole honeycomb. Soon, they all overcome their hesitation and enthusiastically devour the treat.
It just took one monkey, which I think was Claude actually, he was the bravest. He just had one taste, realised it was nice and sweet, and then once he started chirping and trilling, I think the others cottoned on and then they started trying it as well. And now they're just going around the enclosure, licking it off the branches, so they seem to be enjoying it now. It's probably a good thing that they didn't go straight away and just consume it. They'd probably get very hyper if they did that, and now this way it will just last them all day and they'll just keep going back to it.
There should have been 6 members of the troop enjoying today's treat, but tragically, young male Lemmy, who had been part of the group, had to be put to sleep a few weeks ago. The primate care staff had been concerned about him for some time, because he wasn't maturing and growing like he should. Health checks confirmed his internal organs were underdeveloped and he had pneumonia. The 5 remaining boys were quiet and subdued for a while. But they seem to have accepted his absence, and life continues for this unique troop of males. It's a warm, sunny day at the park, and Tuan's group of 6 orangutans are making the most of it. They're outside enjoying their large enclosure and tucking into a bounty of whole cucumbers.
Ame!
To boost their hydration and keep them cool, primate care member Jano is throwing in frozen lollies made with sugar-free squash.
Awi, this is you. It's really hot day today, and having ice lollies is perfect to cool everybody down.
The group has been settled for more than a year now, after Lucky and Roro resolved their differences and found a way to live together. For Lucky, it means mostly keeping herself to herself. The catalyst for this degree of harmony is the youngest member of the group, Hujan. Everyone loves him.
Hujan just make the group is nice and calm now, which is great.
Hujan arrived at the park as a 2-year-old and has thrived as part of this adult group, who've become his family. It's been a good learning curve for the youngster.
Hujan watch everything, watch Tuan when Tuan come to Roro, when Tuan meeting Roro. He witnessed it all. So growing up, he will be just superb. He will be perfect male, yeah, it's really good.
Group leader Tuan is the ideal role model.
Tuan is really, really nice, proper gentleman, and he is fair with all the ladies in this group. And Lucky is always been sort of his favorite for nighttime, of course. But daytime, he's just with everybody else. He's no problem, and he's really, really nice man.
Monkey World is the European creche for orphaned orangutans. It's a huge success story, with creche graduates moving to zoos across Europe and becoming parents themselves. Tuan is a grandfather again, and Roro a grandmother for the third time. Tuan's son Kai and his former nursery mate Jolie have had a baby named Membelai at their new home in Spain, and Xiao Ning, who came through the nursery, has just given birth to her second child, Aquino, at Rostock Zoo in Germany. It's a credit to Alison and the team.
The one thing that we know about orangutans is that if they're orphans themselves, odds are they're not going to look after their own babies. And that's exactly why the orangutan creche here at the park was set up, is to try and break that cycle of abandonment. So I think it's ticked an awful lot of boxes, more than we had even intended or planned. I'm still reluctant to say that we've got it cracked, but I think we're on the right track.
The orangutan creche will continue to assist more youngsters develop strength, social skills and climbing confidence. All great benefits when they settle into new homes and families in the future. Next time on Monkey Life. Big news for the park and for one of the established chimp groups in particular.
There are two new big, intimidating arrivals heading this way, and our initial plan anyway is to shake it up a bit in Bryan's group.
And recently rescued marmoset Jangles summons up the courage to join her new mate Reggie in the outside enclosure. Today on Monkey Life. Big news for the park and for one of the established chimp groups in particular.
There are two new big, intimidating arrivals heading this way, and our initial plan anyway is to shake it up a bit in Bryan's group.
Franco's capuchins demonstrate the size of the task doesn't outweigh their ability to solve it.
I don't think you realise exactly how strong they are until you see them doing something like that.
And recently rescued marmoset Jangles summons up the courage to join her new mate Reggie in the outside enclosure. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Hi! Look at that. Oh, he's fantastic.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 25 different species. The park has 4 communities of chimpanzees, with Bryan's group of 5 being the smallest. But their number is about to increase.
I don't know what they're going to think, but there are two new big, intimidating arrivals heading this way, and our initial plan anyway is to shake it up a bit in Bryan's group.
The 2 new chimps currently live in Argentina at the former Buenos Aires Zoo, which has undergone a radical transformation. It no longer exhibits animals from around the globe, having become an eco-park to preserve and protect Argentinian wildlife, leaving just a few non-native exotic species, including 2 chimpanzees.
Their names are Sasha and Kangu, and their story is a little bit of a unique and odd one.
Sasha and Kangu were both born at the zoo and share the same father. Female Sasha is 25, 10 years older than her brother. But that's not the only relationship they share.
The way the former zoo was managed, birth control wasn't kept in check, and they didn't really plan ahead, so actually Sasha is also Kangu's mother. So They're both brother and sister and mother and son, which isn't ideal, but the fact that Kangoo was the product of a family relation, it isn't good, but for him, it makes no difference. He's a perfectly healthy, quite frankly, ripped and intimidating looking young man.
It's taken more than a year to arrange the move, with numerous online meetings with zoo and government officials.
We have transported 77 chimpanzees from 15 different countries.
But finally, Alison has been given the green light and will soon be flying to Buenos Aires along with Jeremy to bring the two chimps back to Dorset. In the meantime, they've been getting to know the chimps via videos sent by helpful keepers in Argentina.
They both appear really relaxed and pleasant, but there is only the two of them. And they were born in that location and have never gone anywhere else, nor have they ever met any unfamiliar chimps.
And the 5 chimps they'll be meeting at the park are a bit of an unusual bunch, although they do get on well together.
Bryan's group are in actually a pretty good place right now. He's, not the most stable of leaders. He's got personal issues. His traumatic background, he's never really gonna get over. But at the same time, that seems to be settling down as he evolves into the role of leader of this group of chimpanzees, which is quite a unique group. I mean, we've got an amputee, Lulu, who's sort of the old wise woman of the group, really. She's been here for so long, but she's always been quite a self-contained individual. So she definitely has authority and opinions in the groups, but usually she's off on her own. Ash is just the Incredible Hulk, probably one of our biggest chimpanzees in the park. But actually underneath that, there's a very silly young lady. And Nari, of course, we all just love to bits. And Rodders, what to do with a problem like Rodders, he's just a boisterous young teenage lad, really, and full of mischief. So that's the ragtag mob in there, but actually, they sort of all have each other's backs. They're quite a tight-knit group, and it's really lovely to see.
The foundation of the group was the park's chimpanzee nursery, led for years by amazing foster mum Sally with the support of Lulu. Sally successfully brought up Bryan, Ash and Rodders from tiny infants to adulthood. It's going to be quite daunting for this established troupe and for the new Argentinian arrivals.
Their background and experiences of life are very limited compared to what's happened with all of our guys here in Bryan's group. The question is, what are these guys going to make of them? A lot's going to depend on the characters, those unique personal characters of those two chimpanzees.
It's been a few days since Alison rescued a female marmoset called Jangles from a home in West Yorkshire. The small primate had a nervy start to life at the park, but now she's starting to blossom.
Jangles has really changed since she arrived. When she first came in, she was really, really shy. She was hiding away in the blanket, staying in the nest box. We would know that she would be going around the enclosure because the food would have been eaten, but as soon as anyone entered the house, she would be hidden away. So over the last couple of days, she's really come out of her shell, and yeah, she's doing really well.
Jangles had lived in a family group in the past, but had been living alone for some time. She was in desperate need of a companion, so the team have introduced her to Reggie, who recently lost his partner.
They've really hit it off, so Reggie's been going over to her, approaching her. They've had a few little grooming sessions, so it's really, really helped in her rehabilitation by putting her back with another marmoset.
Today, it's the next step in Jangles' rehabilitation.
Basically, we want to give them the outside access. We want to give them extra space to explore, to go outside. It's a bit overcast at the moment, but we are having some sunny spells. Now it's coming into spring, so hopefully they can enjoy each other's company outside as well.
Reggie, Jangles!
Reggie is first to pop his head out. A quick check that the coast is clear, and he heads outside.
Come on, Jangles!
With a little vocal encouragement from Sian, Jangles soon appears.
Good boy, Reg. Hi, Jangles. Oh, that's a good girl. Oh, well done.
She's a little wary and nervous at first. The large outside enclosure, with all its branching and natural foliage, is vastly different from what she's used to. But Reggie is being a perfect housemate.
Oh, contact calls.
Giving her plenty of encouragement. And soon, Jangles is exploring. Taking in all the different sights, smells and noises.
She's doing really well. So Reggie came out first and then she followed quite quickly. She's going in and outside of the house, so she's using the cat flaps really well. And she is just going back and forth, just making sure she's looking at her surroundings. But yeah, she seems to be really enjoying it at the moment, which is great.
Jangles appears happy and content in her new home. She's going to need to increase her strength and coordination to get around all the branching, but she has plenty of time for that. And when she's had enough, she can always cuddle up to Reggie back indoors. The primate care teams at the park love to challenge their charges and encourage natural behaviour. Today, it's the turn of the youngest and probably most energetic group of capuchins, led by Franco.
We're basically hanging whole foods up for them, so we've got melons and pineapples. It's a bit of a treat. They don't always get fruit presented like this. They don't always get whole things. So yeah, it's going to be quite exciting, and we're hanging it up all over the enclosure, so getting it up as high as possible, getting the harness on, ladders up, and yeah, just hanging it up on the highest points that we can.
The fruit may be high in sugar, but by stringing it up in hard-to-reach places...
So we'll just need to get it over first so that I can actually knot it.
The team are counting on the capuchins expending a lot of energy and calories getting to the fruit and breaking it open before they even eat it.
I mean, capuchins are really destructive animals, really. They're really destructive foragers. So, yeah, they'll have no problem with this. They're quite well known for bashing things around on rocks and using tools to smash things open. So, yeah, I don't think we'll have much problem.
Time to see if Katie is right.
Right, we ready?
The two old ladies of this predominantly young group are let out first. Lucy and Mary were born in the wild before being caught for use in a laboratory. They used to be the dominant females, but have now surrendered the position to the more feisty, younger girls. Early access allows them an opportunity to get their share of the food before the more dominant individuals take over. The rest of the troop can't wait to get started. Leader Franco considers the tightrope, but it's not for him. Frida demonstrates great balance. The clever female works out how to untie the rope securing a watermelon. It's too heavy for her to catch, and she's going to have to move quickly before someone else tucks in. Felipe, Franco's second in command, adopts a Mission Impossible style and uses his tail as a counterbalance. It's an amazing display of agility on such a thin piece of rope. Emily makes short work of a pineapple, her sharp teeth tearing out chunks. While Digit forages for leftovers, William uses his razor-sharp teeth to gnaw through the tough outer skin of a melon. Fabian, one of the youngest of the group, tackles a whole watermelon with strength and determination, successfully splitting it in two.
They're amazingly strong. I don't think you realise exactly how strong they are until you see them doing something like that and carrying a big melon. For their size, yeah, they're massively strong. But you can definitely see it is a little bit awkward for them. Quite often they have to go on 2 legs, which obviously isn't their natural way of walking entirely. But they seem to manage all right, and it's definitely enriching for them.
Today's challenge is having the desired effect, stretching the capuchin's capabilities and keeping them engaged. Agile Emily sets the standard.
It's really nice to do this because it's presenting them their food in a slightly different way, and it is encouraging them to kind of process it. They have to think about what they're doing, and yeah, it is quite a difficult thing to get into a melon or a bit of pineapple, and especially negotiate these bits of rope that we've got. So it's really nice to see them doing all these behaviours, and that's the kind of thing they probably spend most of their day doing, so it is really natural behaviour to see.
With the warmer weather, the capuchins have 24-hour access to their enclosure and can come and go as they please, giving them plenty of time to enjoy the fruits of their labour. At Bart's large outside enclosure, the group are busy tucking into breakfast. But catering for the dietary needs of this troop isn't straightforward. For the past 5 years, the primate care team have been managing the food intake of leader Bart, who suffers from type 1 diabetes. Initially, it was touch and go whether the well-liked chimp would survive. But thanks to the hard work and dedication of the staff, he pulled through and is now a fit and strong alpha male. However, his blood glucose levels still need to be regularly checked.
What's this, big man? Come in here then. Come on then.
A few months ago, the team had a scare when Bart's readings were abnormally low.
So now we do try, like we tweaked our carbohydrate allowance and his insulin allowance just to try and keep him that little bit higher so that if we do start seeing a fairly big drop, we've got more time to act to boost him back up again because we just don't want to risk him just dropping that low. And if it happens, say, out in the enclosure, when we then had to battle to get all the other chimps in away from him and then get in there and try and save him, in the time we achieved all that, we probably would have lost him, so we really want to keep him just on top of everything there. You come in, big man. You can push past Beth. You're the dominant male. Thank you. Foot. Thank you.
The daily routine is now a natural way of life for the chimp.
Where are we at? 11.7. Good boy.
Bart is an exceptional patient, but the problem for Sean and the team is understanding what a normal reading for a chimp should be. Initially, they based the results on humans with type 1 diabetes, but recently they started to look at some of the park's other chimps for comparison.
Hand. Good girl. You're very good with that, aren't you? So we started testing Topperish, Bryan and Eddie just to give us a better idea of what's more normal for one of our guys' blood glucose to be. So all of our initial assumptions about Bart was that we would manage him same as a human, like we'd try and keep him within that ideal human range. But then we just wondered, oh, well, what actually is more of a normal chimp range for these guys? So we went with Topperish because they're a comparable age and in the same group and on the same diet. Eddie, obviously, is a blood relative, so we wanted to see what she's like. And Bryan, again, another big male, similar age, but over in a different group. So just that we could compare them to what we were seeing with Bart. Where are we at? 4. A lot lower than Bart.
Bart and Topperish get on really well. The young chimp is one of his favourite ladies. She's also a quick learner.
Topperish is a superstar with it. She really, because she's quite young, she's a bit of a sponge and like that, she wants to get involved with everything. And to the point where if we test Bart and we don't test Topperish, she has a tantrum. She really, really likes to be tested. Eddie is a completely different kettle of fish. Eddie did not like to be tested at all. We had to really, really make sure the rewards were nice and high value for her to cooperate with us. Are you trying to squeeze a drop of your own blood out?
The training has now progressed to another level.
Should we try this then?
Sean has started to teach some of the male chimps to participate, while he takes an ECG reading using a portable monitor.
Touch. Captive chimps, the major cause of death for them is heart issues. And obviously we've had like physically perfect males like Ben and Tico that we have lost to heart problems in the past. And we wouldn't have had a single clue because physically they looked perfect. So this little ECG reader allows us to get a little idea of what's going on with the heartbeat. We can detect arrhythmias or irregular heartbeats, and then that would then lead us on to take further investigation. It's still in the early days of shaping it at the moment. Touch. Bart's not quite got it yet. Yeah, your hand lives there. Bart, touch. Touch. There we go.
The results are recorded on a phone app.
Good job, Bart. Nice one, big man. Want some of that? Luckily, that reading, even though it was quite a short one, was pretty perfect heartbeat, so I'm quite happy with him. There you go, big man. You're free to go.
The whole process needs to be repeated regularly, but for today, the tests and checks are complete. Bart and Toprish are free to head back out and enjoy the large enclosure with the rest of the troop. One of the park's small primate groups is in for a bit of a challenge today. Mealtime is being served up in a very different way.
So today we've got some enrichment for our squirrel monkey group. We've just got some coconut shells on some string, so you can see they're all sat in together. What we're going to do is put some straw in between and then put some insects in. So a very important part of their diet. Good source of protein. They get multiple insect feeds a day, but this way we're going to make them work for it a little bit more. So they're going to have to lift up the coconuts and then forage for it. So exhibiting some natural behaviours.
All 4 squirrel monkeys in the group enjoy a challenge.
In general, squirrel monkeys will be interested in anything you put in, so they're very inquisitive animals. You can put something in which isn't very exciting, but if it's new, they'll come and look at it. This group especially, they love anything we put in, really. They'll go and investigate. So hopefully they will come out to these straight away.
And right on cue, the squirrel monkeys head out to investigate. The group is made up of 3 common squirrel monkeys, Lucille, Logan and Lopez, and 1 black-capped, female Nueve. They share a love of foraging for bugs and insects. It doesn't take them long to work out there's plenty hidden in the coconut shells. They're soon pulling out the straw, hunting for the mealworms. Their small, nimble hands are perfect for rummaging through the shells. The foursome have differing techniques, but all have amazing balance and agility. Clever Lopez demonstrates his skills and ingenuity, balancing on a tower of coconuts while reaching up and foraging through another. This group contains a real mix of characters.
The girls are a little bit more lively. The boys sometimes are a little bit quieter. Logan likes to spend quite a bit of time out at the front, sort of sunbathing in the nice weather. Nueve, black-capped female, she spends a lot of time in the house when the primate care staff come in, always inquisitive as to what we're doing. But yeah, so a nice bunch of personalities in the group.
Squirrel monkeys are foragers, and their enclosure is full of natural planting and foliage to attract insects. This keeps the group busy and active. It also supplements the 3 main fruit and vegetable feeds they're given daily, along with at least 2 insect feeds. Today's enthusiastic response is a clue to which is their favourite. Next time on Monkey Life. Vet Nick uses high-tech diagnostic equipment to examine health issues in some of the park's smaller primates.
Look at that. So you can see there's areas of inflammation everywhere, actually.
And a new puzzle motivates the Stumpies to scale new heights. Today on Monkey Life, Vet Nick uses high-tech diagnostic equipment to examine health issues in some of the park's smaller primates.
Look at that. So you can see there's areas of inflammation everywhere, actually.
And comes across more than one area for concern when he moves on to Patas monkey Penelope.
Oh my goodness, she's got some horrible teeth. So we'll come back to look at those properly in a bit.
Also today, a new puzzle motivates the Stumpies to scale new heights. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
I'm shocked. This animal is living in fear of its life at all times.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 25 different species. Six months ago, Alison rescued a number of primates from Borth Zoo in Wales. Most arrived with ongoing medical conditions. Today, two of them, Louis, a female capuchin, and Penelope, a Patas monkey, are to undergo a procedure normally associated with human patients. Specialist equipment is being set up in the park's hospital, overseen by wildlife vet Nick Masters.
We're trying out some endoscopy equipment, and obviously we've got the big screen. They very kindly brought that stack along for us so that we can see exactly what we're doing. Everybody can see what I'm doing and try and work out what's going on.
First up is Capuchin Louis. She's been regularly regurgitating her food and hasn't put on as much weight as the team would have liked since arriving. They suspect she has a problem with her digestive tract. A course of drugs did seem to improve the situation, but when that was finished, the problem reoccurred. Nick is going to take a look inside her esophagus and stomach with an endoscope.
So really what we're trying to do is establish whether she's got an inflamed stomach lining or even perhaps some ulceration of the stomach or the upper small intestine. It's the kind of thing you see with Helicobacter infection that happens in people as well, and we know it happens in non-human primates. So we're just going to try and make a definitive diagnosis about what's going on and then treat her accordingly.
Before Nick gets started, he takes some blood samples to compare with those taken when Louis first arrived. Then it's time to begin the procedure. An endoscope is a long, thin tube passed into the body through a natural opening. Today, it's inserted via Louis's mouth.
It's quite a picture, isn't it?
Nick can view the images in real time on a big screen.
So, in esophagus, just, there we go. Just a bit of mucus there, but it doesn't look very inflamed, does it? So that all looks very normal, that's good. No sort of damage from reflux that I could tell.
But as the endoscope travels further along the esophagus towards the stomach, Nick spots something that gives him cause for concern.
So there's some inflammation there. Definitely be good to have a picture of that. So you can see there's areas of inflammation everywhere, actually. Little hemorrhages. Can't see any obvious actual ulcers, no. What I think I want to do is sample something like this.
Nick decides to take a biopsy, A tiny cable with a pair of pincers on the end is carefully inserted down the endoscope.
Go advance now. Come back slightly, sorry. Oh, there we go. Lovely. Yeah, definitely got something there, got a little bit of bleeding. Perfect. So that can go straight in formalin, which we've got here. So we're going to stop with the scoping. We've got the video and we've got some pictures that haven't we as well.
Nick takes a second biopsy from another site.
It's gone. Yeah, I can see it in the bottom. Perfect. I think we're going to fail to get into the intestine, but that's okay because we've seen some really obvious lesions in the stomach. Yeah. What's causing them, we're not quite sure.
With the procedure done, Nick gives Louie a quick overall health check.
She's definitely put muscle on.
Yeah.
It's great because she's gained weight, but she doesn't look fat at all.
No.
He also weighs her.
2.46.
Oh, a little bit more.
The biopsies will be sent to a laboratory for analysis.
It looks like a fairly severe gastritis to me, but not obvious gross ulceration. But the other is just because we could do some further testing to see whether we culture anything or find anything by PCR, an infectious agent like Helicobacter that could be causing it. Obviously, they're small samples, but we can't take anything much bigger than that. But I suspect that getting her on the drugs to reduce the gastritis is the best thing we can do because it'll stop the pain anyway. It's like taking out an infected tooth. Once it's out, it's actually much better than having it in still. So.
Louis is returned to the Capuchin Lodge to recover. Next on Nick's list will be Patus monkey Penelope. Over the last few months, life at the Stumpy house has seen dramatic changes. The group had become fractious, leading to the primate care team having to split them up. For everyone's safety, the rowdy boys have been separated from the girls and from each other. Today, the three females, Sylvie, Kelly and Noreen, are being given the run of the outdoor enclosure, while the boys remain inside. To keep them engaged, Toby is putting out mobile puzzle feeders. They were successfully trialled with a group of capuchins last month, and he's keen to see if the larger and less agile macaques can work them out too.
Basically, I'm going to put their breakfast and maybe a little bit of honey just to make it a bit more challenging in the Kongs. And because the boards move, it's just a bit more of a challenge for them to actually retrieve the food. Might get them sort of up on their back legs a bit and just using some muscles they wouldn't usually use.
The primate care team have to think carefully before providing the Stumpies with something new.
The problem we have with the Stumpies and in giving them enrichment is that they will eat a lot of the things that we would use for the other primates on the park, things like socks, pillowcases, sacks, rags, paper, boxes. These are great enrichments for everything else, but for a Stumpy, it's just basically extra dinner. So we have to use the more robust toys with the Stumpies. Things like Kongs are quite good. We also have to be very aware with the females in the group that there is differing levels of ability. Sylvie's very agile, very mobile. She can climb, she can be all over everything. Whereas Kelly and Noreen aren't so much. And particularly as Sylvie is now dominant, we don't want her hoarding all the food. So it's trying to find a balance by making these in a challenging place for Sylvie, but also making them accessible for Kelly and Noreen so that they can reach them.
Toby is hoping the sweet corn, pea and honey concoction he's come up with will keep the girls busy and, more importantly, happy.
Come on then, girls. No trouble.
Sylvie is first out. She's the smallest and youngest of the three females, but she more than makes up for it in character. She's relishing her new role as dominant female. A feeder catches her eye. Sylvie is a great climber, not a common skill among the park's macaques. She shimmies up the tree with ease, showing great core strength and agility. Controlling the moving board isn't easy, but Sylvie steadies herself with her strong feet so she can reach into a Kong, deftly grabbing the peas and sweet corn inside. Noreen is less agile and decides against trying to access a feeder from above. Instead, she goes for an easier option, a low-hanging feeder, which she can reach by standing on a log. It still gives her back legs a workout as she reaches for the food. Kelly isn't tackling the feeders, foraging in the grass instead. She's in her 30s, a geriatric old lady, and has never liked climbing. Hanging feeders are too much of a challenge. The elderly macaque's life has been turned upside down in recent months.
Kelly was quite a nice, dominant female. She didn't really bother anyone else unless she really needed to step in, and she was generally quite fair. Sylvie, on the other hand, is a little terror. She is mean to Kelly and Noreen at times for no apparent reason. Part of it is probably the fact that Noreen was mean to her for years and she's just getting her revenge now for years of Noreen being dominant over her. But also I think she feels she has to prove herself a bit, which is sort of not helping her behaviour. So she will chase them and bite them at times for no reason. So giving them space and keeping them busy is the best thing, really. And anything that keeps Sylvie occupied and out of trouble is good.
And while Sylvie has her back turned, Noreen takes advantage, defying her years and climbing the tree like a youngster. It wasn't worth the effort. The more dominant female has emptied the first easy-to-reach Kong. Eventually, Kelly is motivated to join in.
We do want her to be mobile and active. It's good stimulation for her brain and it's good for her to be using her muscle groups. So I think today's sort of enrichment has sort of found quite a nice balance. Kelly was having to reach up and do a bit of exercise on it, but also the one in the tree challenged Sylvie and also Noreen and made them go that little bit further and work that little bit harder.
Today's challenge has been a success and harmony reigns among the girls, who've now established their new hierarchy. But what happens when the care team put the whole group back together is anyone's guess. Six months ago, the park rescued a pair of patus monkeys. The female, Penelope, is far more nervous than her partner, Mr. Patus. It's taken a while for her to settle into her new life and for the primate care staff to earn her trust. Today presents the first opportunity the team have had to arrange a thorough health check for nervy Penelope, courtesy of wildlife vet Nick Masters.
We're just not sure of her history at all, and we'd like to establish a few things. A, roughly what we think her age might be, whether she's got any underlying health issues or not. We've definitely got a question mark over her teeth, so we're going to look carefully in her mouth at those and the rest of her mouth.
Nick begins to intubate Penelope, which reveals her first issue.
Oh my goodness, she's got some horrible teeth. So we'll come back to look at those properly in a bit.
When she arrived at the park, Penelope was treated for parasites. The team noticed she was suffering from small bouts of rectal bleeding. Using the specialist equipment set up earlier for Capuchin Louis' endoscopy, Nick hopes to rule out anything sinister.
So that all looks very nice and clean. We saw a little wispy bit of blood back there, but I think that's from me messing around. So can't see anything nasty so far. So I don't know what that was causing that. Could have been parasites, yeah, that's good. Fantastic.
But there's no scarring or anything?
No, can't see anything untoward. Oh, it looks really nice, doesn't it? There we go. Brilliant. Thanks very much. There you go. Worth waiting for. All looks great.
It's good news, and Nick can move on with the rest of the examination. He takes blood samples and checks Penelope's legs and joints.
Everything moves as it
Feet look
should.
okay.
Nothing's
got all her digits. Yeah, she's got some fairly sort of hard pads, calluses on her feet, so she's not young.
But joints and everything feels...
Yeah, it feels good, doesn't it?
Not creaky.
No. Ooh, let's do x-rays. I think dental's going to take a little while. Yeah.
The vet team take a number of x-rays. Due to Penelope's lack of medical history, they have no earlier records with which to compare them. But Nick spots something straight away.
She's got incredible spinal arthritis. Yeah, so she's not young, and I don't know how mobile she is, but that would explain any kind of general lack of mobility.
The Patus monkey will be given medication to help ease this condition. Next, it's time to tackle Penelope's rotten teeth.
So there are a lot of teeth to come out here. I'm just going to start.
Okay.
With so many bad teeth, Nick is going to work on just the left side for now.
So I've taken out that lateral incisor. Not quite sure what's in there.
The cause of so much decay could be Penelope's poor diet before she arrived at Monkey World.
They're so diseased and infected, they're almost falling out. So I'm just loosening them, breaking down that bit of ligament that's left that I talked about, and then extracting them. So in some ways it's good that they're this diseased to get them out. It does mean that, I think it sounds like you're doing it already, but you're going to have to manage your food presentation for her at least. But much better that this is all removed.
In all, Nick removes 8 rotten teeth.
Cool. So, we're done with all the dentistry on the left side.
Penelope has now been under anaesthetic for 90 minutes.
She's an old lady, we now know. That's quite a lot of work that I've done. It will have disturbed all sorts of bacteria. I'd like all of that to heal before doing the other side, and know that she can eat pretty well on the healed side, now her left, before we do the same to her much less affected, for some reason, right side.
Hopefully the discomfort she's been experiencing will dissipate and Penelope will be able to eat more easily. Now they know she's elderly, with infected teeth and spinal problems, the primate care team will make adaptations to her diet and enclosure. But they've done as much as they can today without risking her life. At the Capuchin complex, Sonny's group of 19 are about to discover their next meal comes with a workout. Donna and the primate care team are busy putting freshly cut bamboo browse in their enclosure. Spreading it around the platforms and in high-up, more hard-to-reach areas. They're also distributing fibre-rich plantain amongst the foliage.
We're just going to put them in whole because it's way more exciting for the Capuchins. It's not very often that they get whole food, so that in itself is a type of enrichment. And then we're going to hopefully spear the plantain onto the bamboo. So it's quite a natural way of feeding for them, and they have to search for it and, again, try and reach and sort of pull the bamboo over towards them to try and get the food.
Plantain is a superfood, full of vitamins and minerals with a lower sugar content than the everyday bananas many of us eat.
So visually, the plantain looks very similar to a banana. The skin is probably quite similar, so they should be able to get into the fleshy bit. But yeah, the fruit inside is much tougher. So hopefully it's going to take them a little bit longer to devour, so that will increase their feeding time, which is really great. It's nice to try and keep them nice and busy. So yeah, it's going to be interesting really to see how much they enjoy it and whether they actually can get inside.
The Capuchins haven't had plantain before, so it'll be interesting to see how these very clever monkeys tackle the task. Sonny's is a mixed age group, and some of its members have mobility issues, while others have dexterity problems as a result of missing digits. However, the enclosure is designed with that in mind, and they've all developed ways of accessing their favourite spots. Bruce manages to negotiate the high hoses with the plantain, but has his hands full, so uses his tail to aid his balance. Jenny's doing it the conventional way, peeling her plantain. Mushroom bashes hers on the platform to try and soften the flesh, making it easier to eat. It's a form of tool use seen in wild capuchins. Sonny is the dominant male of the group. Despite his strength, he struggles to free a plantain speared on the bamboo. Instead of persevering, he looks for easier pickings and finds a piece of plantain discarded by one of the others. He may be top man, but the girls in this group are a force to be reckoned with. Scrapper is a good example. Her sharp canines help her tear through the outer skin of the plantain to get to the nutritious centre. But there's one girl who has every right and every reason to take it easy.
So Terry is very easily recognisable within the group, mostly because she's a really different shape to a lot of the other individuals. And a lot of that is a result of being kept in a small bird cage in someone's living room in Hackney. So that has developed really severe rickets, and so she doesn't really have hardly any movement within her spine at all.
Terry was rescued 21 years ago by Alison and her late husband, Jim Cronin.
Well, well, well.
Hey, sweetie.
The capuchin had been living in a parrot cage in a family's living room. She was crippled with rickets from lack of sunlight and a poor diet. But despite all that, she showed a real determination to enjoy life at the park.
Terry is just a real character. She's been here at the park for about 20 years now, so she's, you know, one of our longer serving primates. And so obviously all the primate care staff and a lot of the visitors do know her. She does react quite a lot to people that she knows as well. So you'll get a lot of flirting behaviour from her, which is very unique in Terry's style. And yeah, she's just a real lovely capuchin, really. She does have her moments where she likes to have a tantrum if you've given her the wrong treat. But yeah, she gets on really well in the group and everybody absolutely adores her.
The capuchins who've really risen to this morning's challenge are the robustus ladies, Dot, Lizzie and Jill. All three were wild caught, so climbing and being up high comes naturally to them, despite their later life in a laboratory. They used to be the dominant females in the troop, but age has caught up with them and they're not as formidable as they once were. But along with the rest of Sunny's group, the three girls have taken an interest in today's breakfast workout.
Yeah, it seemed to go really well this morning. They weren't as excited as I thought they would be, considering they looked like bananas and it was something that they'd never had before, but maybe that's just because there was an element of uncertainty about what they were going to get. But they all seem to be really enjoying it. They have got most of it, but there's still a few bits and pieces around that hopefully they'll get later on in the day. But they've had it first thing in the morning, which is nice, so it means they've got all day now to forage for the rest of it, and hopefully it'll keep them nice and busy.
Next time on Monkey Life. How to move more than 30 capuchins in a day as the team tackle a big house swap.
We have to make sure that all the right slides are open and closed to make sure that nobody goes to the wrong place.
And the bouncy Gwenons try out their revamped home.